Argentina just made a brand new announcement regarding citizenship by investment. Released on July 30th, 2025, from the Ministry of the Economy, it states that foreigners who make significant investments in the country can now apply for Argentine citizenship. This groundbreaking policy, formalized through Decree 524/2025, marks a pivotal shift in Argentina's immigration and economic strategy, aiming to attract global investors with a fast-track citizenship pathway. We'll break down the announcement, explore the process, the benefits, the potential risks, and what this means for you based on all the most current information. So let's get right into it. The Argentine government has officially launched a citizenship by investment program. They hinted at it earlier in the year. This most recent announcement basically makes it official, allowing foreigners to apply for citizenship by making what they call quote-unquote relevant investments in the country. According to the decree published in the Boletín Oficial, the Ministry of Economy will define what qualifies as a relevant investment through a newly established agency for citizenship by investment programs, a decentralized body under its authority. This builds on Decree 366/2025 issued back in May, which amended Citizenship Law 346 to allow naturalization for investors regardless of their residency duration, provided their investment meets the government's criteria. Unlike Argentina's traditional citizenship path, which requires 2 years of legal residency, this program eliminates the residency requirement entirely, offering a direct route to citizenship for those who bring substantial capital. And with Argentina recently tightening the traditional route to citizenship, saying you have to have not left the country in 2 entire years, which is a pretty high bar that most international travelers and people with international lives would be unable to meet. So on one hand, they're making it more strict through the traditional path, and then on the other hand, they're introducing this citizenship by investment path. So what's the process? When an investor submits an application, the Agency for Citizenship by Investment evaluates whether the investment qualifies as relevant. The agency then compiles a report recommending approval or rejection and sends it to the National Directorate of Migraciones, which has 30 business days to make a final decision through a formal justified act. The evaluation involves rigorous due diligence with input from multiple government bodies. I read as many as 8, including the Ministry of Security, the Financial Information Unit, the National Criminal Record Registry, and the National Registry of Persons, the RENAPER, as well as even the State Intelligence Secretariat, the CIDE. So these agencies assess whether granting citizenship poses any risk to national security or interests. The agency also considers international security protocols, including those tied to visa waiver programs like the one with the United States, ensuring compliance with global standards. If approved, new citizens can obtain a Clave Única de Identificación Tributaria, the CUIT, through the Agency for Revenue and Customs Control, enabling them to fully engage in Argentina's economy. You should be able to get a DNI as well, which is sort of like a personal ID in Argentina. We have another video on this channel explaining the DNI, and we have another video on this channel explaining the more traditional paths to Argentina residency as well. So you're going to want to check that out. So one detail that's caught attention is the absence of a specific investment threshold in the announcement. Earlier reports, including those from Forbes and Nomad Capitalist and IMI back in May 2025, suggested a minimum investment of $500,000 US dollars in sectors like agribusiness, energy, technology, or tourism. However, Decree 524 doesn't confirm this figure. This most recent announcement from July 30th has no figure, basically leaving it to the Ministry of Economy to define. This flexibility could allow for tailored criteria, such as higher thresholds for passive investments or lower ones for job creating projects, which kind of makes sense. but it also creates uncertainty for the potential applicants. Sources like La Nación indicate the government is prioritizing productive investments over real estate or donations, aiming to stimulate economic growth and job creation. So you're probably not going to be able to just buy a single family home and sit on it. You're probably going to have to spin up a business, start a business, invest in an existing business, or do something else with a bit more economic oomph behind it. Until the ministry releases detailed guidelines, investors should prepare for a minimum in the 500K range, as speculated, and gather comprehensive documentation proving the source of funds and the project viability. You can create a report about the project that you're looking to do. So why is Argentina looking to do this? Why create this program at all? The country obviously has faced its economic challenges with a 2025 GDP of $683 billion, ranking third in Latin America, but plagued by high inflation, over 40% annually, and low foreign exchange reserves. The central bank needs to meet IMF targets, they need to shore up reserves, and a Citizenship by Investment program offers a direct influx of hard currency, bypassing traditional monetary channels to rebuild reserves without increasing fiscal deficits. The government, led by President Javier Milei, sees this as part of a broader immigration reform, as we've mentioned a little bit before, to attract wealth creators and not hand out the passport so easily, as stated by multiple spokespersons for the Argentine government, who've really, emphasized making Argentina great again by honoring the history of openness, but to productive immigrants. And they're actually starting to reinterpret, it's hard to change something. It's really in the Constitution that it says 2-year path to citizenship for most people. But I think what we're going to see in the future is that 2 years to citizenship might become 2 years to 2 years of permanent residency, where even as a temporary resident, that time doesn't count towards citizenship. And actually, we see that in a lot of countries around the world where they only count time as a permanent resident. And Paraguay is actually an example of that. So Paraguay is 3 years of permanent residency for citizenship. So it's actually 5 years if you have to do 2 years of temporary first. So that's quite common. I think we might see that in Argentina in the future. But Argentina is certainly getting more strict in terms of citizenship than they have been historically over the past couple decades. And it makes sense. The passport is much more valuable now that they're entering the visa waiver program and that they have this Citizenship by Investment program and all the other benefits that the Argentine passport has, like access to Mercosur, etc. So what are the benefits of the Argentine passport through this program? First, the passport is a strong travel document. It's one of the top in the world with visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to 172 countries, including the Schengen area, Japan, Mexico, Russia, and soon to be the US as well. This surpasses Caribbean citizenship programs like St. Kitts, which access fewer destinations, and rivals Turkey's, I would say even better than Turkey's, because Turkey does not have access to the Schengen area, and it doesn't have access to the US either, and it's not really part of a trade bloc the way you have the Mercosur. So Argentina, as a full Mercosur member, that grants you as a citizen the right to live, work, and establish businesses in Brazil, Paraguay, Argentina, Uruguay, Bolivia, plus as also associate members like Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, covering a potential market of over 300 million people. This regional mobility in South America is a significant advantage for entrepreneurs or retirees seeking South American opportunities. Argentina also allows dual citizenship, so Americans or others can retain their original passport, though Argentine law treats naturalized citizens as fully Argentine, and citizenship, there's this talk about can it be renounced? Maybe it can't be renounced, but that's probably worthy of its own separate video. Another major perk is the potential for the fast track to Spanish citizenship. I would argue that you would not be a citizen de origen if you did CBI, But if you had kids that were born into that Argentine passport, they would get that fast track, right? So if you got the Argentine CBI for your family, and you had more kids in the future, so you had kids that were born after you became an Argentine citizen, all those kids would be Argentine by birth, and they would basically qualify for the 2-year fast track to Spanish citizenship, and they would also qualify for any other citizen de origen benefits that exist in other Latin American countries as well. So who is this program for? It's ideal for high net worth individuals, anyone with 500K to invest, anyone seeking a strong South American passport with global and regional mobility, especially those eyeing Spanish or EU citizenship via the 2-year fast track in the future. Entrepreneurs targeting the Mercosur markets. It's going to be big for anyone who wants to do business or live anywhere in South America. It's going to be big for retirees wanting affordable living. Argentina has a much lower cost of living than the US. And while Buenos Aires can be expensive, I can tell you that Mendoza or Misiones or other parts of the north of the country are half the cost of living, or even 1/4 the cost of living of Buenos Aires. So it can be very affordable for a very high standard of living. It can be great for asset protection as well. This passport, this citizenship, for investors diversifying assets into a growing economy, getting money out of the US or Canada or their home country, securing a second passport. There's benefits to the Argentina passport specifically, but then there's also benefits to any second passport, and the Argentine one is quite good. So how should you prepare? Start assembling documentation now. Maybe you can start getting your police clearance check, getting that apostilled, get your birth certificate apostilled, start saving up that 500K. You could probably even spin up a company in Argentina right now to get the process started, so that you maybe have a business entity in place that you could transfer 500K in equity over to. That could potentially be a good idea. And by the way, MyLatinLife, we're a full-scale immigration consultant, so we can help you get residency and citizenship in Argentina. We can help you open companies in Argentina and buy vehicles and any type of relocation services that you need in Argentina, investing in real estate, for example. We highly recommend engaging an immigration lawyer for this process. And MyLatinLife, we have the best English-speaking immigration lawyers in Argentina with decades of experience. They've been great. So book a call. There's a link in the description to book a one-on-one call with us. A one-on-one consultation will answer all your burning questions and will put you on a path to Argentina residency or citizenship. Argentina's Citizenship by Investment program, announced in July 30th, 2025 via Decree 524, is an absolute game changer. It offers a direct path to citizenship for foreigners making significant investments as defined by the Ministry of Economy. With no residency requirement, a robust passport, Mercosur access, it's a compelling option for entrepreneurs and passport hunters around the world. So get your money prepped now, get your documents prepped. We are still waiting for a little bit more of an announcement from the Argentine government about this program, but it's now officially underway. The agency, they have a dedicated agency, and this is going to reshape both Argentina's economy and your global mobility, and frankly, the investment migration industry as well. So thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more global investment tips, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to book a call at the link in the description, and we'll see you soon.